Alien armies versus human guerrilla tactics. The sky was burning. Cities were on fire. Human armies were breaking apart. No one had ever seen anything like it before. They came without warning, giant ships, black and glowing. Covering the whole sky like a storm of metal, the aliens called themselves the Vorith. And they didn't come to talk. They came to conquer. In the middle of all this chaos, one soldier opened his eyes. His name was Ethan Cole, a young Special Forces officer who once believed Earth could never fall. But now his base was gone. The ground shook. The air smelled of smoke and burning steel. He crawled out of the wreckage, coughing, his ears ringing. Around him were broken machines, destroyed tanks. And the bodies of his friends, the communication lines were silent. The war, it seemed, was already lost. Ethan walked for hours through the ruins. Everywhere he looked, there were alien drones searching, scanning for survivors. He saw a beam of red light pass right over him, and he froze. The Vorith drones moved like hunters, silent, precise, emotionless. One wrong sound, and they would vaporize him instantly. He pressed his back against a cold wall and whispered to himself, "Humans don't quit, not yet." Days passed. He followed a weak radio signal deep into the forest. There he found others, survivors, soldiers, engineers, and civilians, all hiding underground. Their leader, an older man named Captain Reyes, welcomed Ethan with tired eyes. Reyes said, "We can't fight them head on. Son, we don't have tanks, ships, or satellites anymore. But we do have something they don't, the human mind." That night, the survivors gathered around a flickering fire. Ethan listened as they shared stories of destroyed cities, fallen armies, and broken governments. The Vorith had cut off all power and communications, turning Earth into a dark planet. But humans were not done yet. Ethan looked at a map spread on the ground, alien patrol routes, drone positions, supply drops, and he realized something strange. The aliens moved in patterns, predictable, mechanical. They didn't expect resistance from a species that was already defeated. That was their mistake. Ethan stood up and said, "We hit them where they don't expect it. Small groups, fast strikes, disappear before they can react. We fight like ghosts." Reyes smiled for the first time in days. "Guerrilla tactics. You want to turn this into a shadow war?" Ethan nodded. "If we can't win their way, we'll fight our way." The next day, the first human counterattack began. A small team led by Ethan crawled through the dark sewers beneath the old city. They reached an alien patrol station. Glowing towers stood above them, humming with strange energy. Ethan watched the patrols move with perfect rhythm. He counted their steps, timed their turns, and whispered. Now, grenades rolled under the alien machines. Explosions flashed in the night. The humans disappeared into the shadows before the drones could respond. When the smoke cleared, the aliens found nothing but silence. No footprints, no heat signals, no trace. It was the first human victory, small, but it gave hope. Ethan's team kept attacking supply lines, ambushing convoys, stealing alien weapons. The Vorith began to notice. They started calling these invisible fighters by a new name, the Ghost Men. But the aliens were not stupid. They adapted. Soon their scanners grew sharper, their patrols stronger. Each night, humans risked their lives just to survive. Ethan lost many friends, but he refused to stop. He kept moving, kept fighting, because for him, Earth was not lost yet. One evening, while scanning through the wreck of a fallen alien drone, Ethan found something strange. A small metallic cube, still blinking with blue light. He brought it back to camp. Their engineer, a young woman named Maya, tried to decode it. When the device finally powered up, everyone froze. A voice came from the cube, deep, mechanical, and speaking English. "Human soldier Ethan Cole," it said. "Your resistance is meaningless. Surrender, or your city will burn." Ethan's heart stopped. How did they know his name? The message wasn't random. The Vorath were tracking him. They had found out who was leading the human attacks. Everyone in the bunker looked at Ethan. Reese whispered, "They're hunting you." Ethan stared at the glowing cube. He didn't blink. He didn't move. And then he said quietly, "Then let them come. They think humans are weak. They don't understand what happens when you push us too far." Outside, thunder rolled over the ruined city. Alien ships moved through the clouds like shadows. But deep underground, humans were learning to fight again. They were learning to adapt, and for the first time since the invasion began, the aliens had something new to fear. They had to face the one enemy they could not predict, the human spirit. And that night, Ethan made a promise. He would make the Vorath regret ever coming to Earth. The forest was quiet, too quiet. Ethan crouched behind a fallen tree, listening to the faint hum of alien drones above. The wind carried a strange metallic scent, and the sky was dark with smoke. He held the small cube he had found last night, its blue light pulsing like a heartbeat. Every second it blinked faster, as if impatient. The survivors were tense in the underground bunker. Reyes, Maya, and the others watched Ethan carefully. They had all seen the destruction, the power of the Vorath. But now the cube spoke again, in a cold, commanding voice. "Human soldier Ethan Cole, cease attacks immediately, or your city will burn." Ethan's hands tightened around the cube. "Why me?" He whispered, "Why now?" Reyes frowned. "It knows you're leading the resistance. It wants you scared. It wants to control us through fear." But Ethan shook his head. "Fear is what they don't understand. Fear makes humans fight harder." That night, he studied the cube with Maya. They tried every trick to decode it. And then something unexpected happened. The cube started showing patterns, alien patrol routes, drone positions, and hidden supply depots. It was like the Vorath had left a breadcrumb trail. But why? Was it a trap? Or was it a mistake? Ethan didn't know. He only knew one thing. They needed the information if they wanted to survive. The next day, Ethan led a small team into the snow-covered forest. Following the cube's coordinates, they reached a supply depot. Guarded by Vorath drones, the humans froze. Hiding behind rocks and trees, Ethan studied the patrols carefully, counting steps, noting turns. Then he whispered, "We hit the center first." Maya nodded and planted small explosives under the alien energy tower. When the timer hit 0, a massive explosion rocked the forest. Flames shot into the sky. Drones fell like metal birds. But before the humans could celebrate, alarms began to ring. The cube had been right. The Vorath were already sending reinforcements. They ran, slipping through the icy rivers and dark trees. Every step was dangerous. A patrol drone almost spotted them, its glowing red eyes scanning the forest. Ethan held his breath, waiting for it to pass, and then they vanished into the shadow of the mountains. Back in the bunker, the survivors examined the captured alien device. Ethan could feel tension building. He realized something chilling. The Vorath were tracking his every move, not just with drones, but with something far more advanced. Heat sensors, sound waves, and possibly even psychic detection. They knew exactly where humans hid, and yet they still made mistakes. Humans were invisible to them in snow, caves, and forests. Ethan's mind raced. They had to use this to their advantage. Suddenly, the cube flickered, and a new message appeared, different from the last. It was not a threat. It was a question. "Do you wish to meet the commander?" Everyone froze. Ethan stared at the glowing text. "Meet the commander?" He repeated. Maya whispered, "It could be a trap. Reyes shook his head. No one knows what the Vorath want. It could be a trap. Or it could be a weakness we can exploit. The next morning, Ethan prepared a small team to investigate. They moved silently through the forest. The snow muffled their footsteps. Above them, the sky was still dark. They reached a hidden alien transmitter. Half buried in ice, the cube pulsed faster, guiding Ethan closer, and then they heard it, a low, mechanical voice. Speaking in English, it was Sira, an alien soldier trapped in the transmitter field. Her voice was soft, but firm. She said, "I am not like the others. I can help you. But you must trust me." Ethan hesitated. He had learned to distrust aliens. They destroyed his home, killed his friends, burned cities. But something in her voice felt real. And desperate times demanded desperate measures. He nodded slowly. "We will listen, but one wrong move, and we end this." Sira revealed the truth. Not all Vorath were loyal to the High Command. Some wanted peace. Some wanted to end the war. She could help humans strike at the heart of their operations, but she warned them, time is short. The Vorath are adapting. They are stronger than you think. And they know your leader. Ethan felt a chill. She didn't say it, but he understood. They were hunting him. The survivors had a choice. Trust the alien, or risk everything on their own. Ethan made the decision. If humans wanted to survive, they had to use every advantage. Even if it came from the enemy, the bunker was filled with tension as they prepared for the first joint operation. Ethan studied the snow, the shadows, the blinking lights of distant drones. And he realized something important. Humans were not the strongest, not the fastest, not the most advanced. But they were clever, adaptable, unpredictable. And that made them dangerous. The cube blinked once more. And a final message appeared. Human soldier Ethan Cole. Your next choice will determine the fate of your people. Ethan looked at the glowing text. He felt the weight of the world on his shoulders. And he smiled, just slightly, because humans were never meant to give up. Not now, not ever. Outside, the snowstorm raged. The wind howled like the ghosts of fallen cities. The Vorath were watching, waiting. But the humans had learned something they could not ignore. And the war, Ethan knew, was only just beginning. The bunker was silent. The fire flickered. Casting long shadows on the walls, Ethan sat with his team, staring at the strange alien figure before them. She was unlike anything he had ever seen. Tall, slender, with skin that shimmered faintly under the dim light, and eyes that glowed like liquid silver. Her name was Sira, and she was alive, yet they didn't know if she was friend or enemy. Sira raised her hands slowly, showing they held no weapons. "I am not here to fight humans," she said in perfect English. Her voice calm but strong. Ethan studied her carefully. He had been betrayed before. He had seen alien drones crush entire cities. And yet, something in her eyes, something human, he didn't know what it was, but he could not turn away. Reyes stepped forward, frowning. "Why should we trust you? You are Vorath, the enemy. You destroyed our world," he said. Sira lowered her head, almost in shame. "I am not like the others. I have seen what your species can do. And I do not wish to be part of this destruction, Maya." The young engineer stepped closer, her curiosity shining through fear. "What do you know about the Vorath?" she asked. Sira's eyes flickered. She explained their technology, their patrol patterns, their weaknesses. She described the alien command hierarchy, which ones obeyed blindly, which ones questioned orders, and which ones would betray their own for survival. Ethan listened carefully. Every word was a key. A weapon in the human mind. The team had a choice. Kill her, risk her escape, or trust her. Ethan's gut told him they needed her knowledge. "You will follow our rules," Ethan said. "You disobey. You betray us." And I will end you myself, Sira nodded slowly. Understanding the stakes, she knew survival was not guaranteed. Over the next days, Sira proved herself. She guided humans through forests and mountains. Avoiding drone patrols, she helped set traps using alien technology. Her knowledge turned small skirmishes into victories. The humans were ghosts in the night. Unseen, untouchable. And for the first time, they felt hope, yet trust was fragile. Some soldiers whispered behind her back. Calling her a traitor, they watched her every move. Every word she said. One evening, Ethan and Sira were alone near the frozen river. The wind bit their faces. Snow swirling around them, Sira said quietly, "There is more to the Vorth than you know. Their leaders communicate through signals humans cannot detect. They are planning something. Massive, I cannot tell you all now. It is too dangerous." Ethan felt the weight of her words. "What do you mean?" he asked. Sira hesitated, then added, "Some Vorth are not loyal, but others will die to follow orders. They are ruthless, and they will use anything against you." Ethan's mind raced. They had survived this long by striking fast and disappearing. But what if the next attack was larger than anything they had faced? Back in the bunker, tension grew. Some humans were losing patience with Sira. A soldier named Harris muttered, "She's hiding something. She could be leading us into a trap." Ethan knew he had to act fast. He could not allow doubt to destroy them from within. He called a meeting. "We are running out of time. If we do not hit them now, we lose more than cities. We lose everything. Sira is our only chance to strike at the heart of their operations," he said. The room was silent. Some nodded, some hesitated, but no one argued. Ethan had made his decision. The next mission was risky. A Vorith supply convoy moved through a narrow canyon. Ethan's team planned to strike. Sira guided them from a hidden ridge, pointing out weak spots, patrol shifts, and drone blind zones. The humans waited until the convoy was in position. Then they struck. Explosions tore through the canyon. Alien trucks flipped and burned. Drones fell from the sky. Humans disappeared into the rocks, leaving nothing behind. It was a perfect ambush. But something went wrong. A Vorith drone, larger than any they had seen, appeared from the cliffs above. Its sensors glowed bright red. Sira froze, whispering, "It knows we are here." Ethan barked orders. "Split up. Move fast. Use the snow, shadows, anything." The humans scattered, bullets flying, drones scanning. Sira was at the edge of the battle, moving with them. But her face betrayed fear, the first Ethan had seen from her. They escaped the canyon, barely, back at the bunker. Sira collapsed, exhausted. Ethan helped her sit. "We survived, thanks to you," he said. Her eyes met his, and for a moment, "Trust was silent but real," she whispered. "There is something you must know, something the Vorith do not want humans to discover. But I cannot say it yet. It is too dangerous. And if the wrong alien hears, we are all dead." The room fell silent, tension thick like ice. Ethan realized the war was bigger than they imagined. The aliens were not just soldiers. They were hunters, tacticians, scientists. They adapted, evolved, and predicted human moves. And yet, humans had something they could not match: courage. Cunning, unpredictability. Ethan looked at Sira, the alien prisoner who could be a key to survival or death. He felt the weight of the world on his shoulders. And he knew one thing for certain. The next battle would not be just survival. It would be war, and they had only just begun suddenly. The bunker's communication array flickered. A strange signal came through alien, encrypted and dangerous. Everyone froze. The voice of a Vorath commander echoed, low and mechanical. "Human Ethan Cole, your actions have consequences." Your next choice will decide the fate of your people. Ethan's heart pounded. The cube in his hand blinked faster than ever, and he realized the game had just changed. The humans were no longer just hiding. They were being hunted, and the hunter was closer than anyone suspected. The night was dark and cold. Snow swirled around the bunker like restless ghosts. Ethan couldn't sleep. His mind kept replaying the events of the last few days. Sira had proved herself, yet doubt lingered. Some soldiers whispered about her, calling her a spy, a traitor. Ethan knew the truth was complicated. Trust was a weapon now, and he had to wield it carefully, deep inside the bunker. The alien prisoner moved near the communication array. Her fingers danced over the strange controls, sending low-frequency signals. Ethan watched quietly, curiosity mixing with fear. "Who are you talking to?" he asked, his voice low. Sira didn't look at him. "I'm warning someone. Someone who doesn't want your team destroyed," she whispered. Ethan's heart raced. He had no idea what she meant. Was she helping the humans or her own kind? Suddenly, the alarms blared, red lights flashed. The bunker shook as explosions erupted nearby. The Vorath had found them. "They know our location." Reyes shouted. Ethan grabbed his rifle. Signaling everyone to move, they ran through icy corridors. Dodging falling debris, Sira was with them, moving faster than any human. But Ethan noticed her eyes flicker toward a hidden panel. Something she wasn't telling him. Outside, the night was chaos. Vorath drones patrolled from above, scanning for heat signatures. The humans split into small groups, following Ethan's plan. Grenades rolled under alien machines. EMP traps disabled surveillance towers, yet the aliens were relentless. One drone almost spotted Sira. Ethan shouted, "Move!" She darted into the shadows, disappearing for a moment. He feared the worst, but then she returned, guiding the group through a hidden cave system. Inside the cave, tension boiled over Harris. A soldier, already suspicious of Sira, confronted her. "You're hiding something." "I don't trust you," he said. Sira's silver eyes glowed, and she answered calmly, "You may not trust me, but if I do not act, you all die." Ethan stepped between them. "Enough. We have no time for arguments. We survive tonight or we die." Deeper in the cave, they discovered a strange alien terminal, half buried in ice. Sira approached it, her fingers moving with speed and precision. A holographic map appeared, showing alien patrols, supply lines, and secret communications. Ethan realized this was bigger than any attack they had planned. The Vorath were not just hunting humans. They were coordinating across the planet, adapting to every move, and the signal Sira accessed was the key to disrupting them. Suddenly, a hidden message appeared on the hologram, encrypted, pulsating red. Sira froze, whispering, "This is the betrayal code. It's a message from the Vorath High Command. It names every human leader, every resistance cell. If they activate it, everything we built is destroyed." Ethan's stomach sank. This was worse than any drone attack, worse than any ambush. Their positions, plans, and lives were all at risk. He looked at Sira. "Can you stop it?" he asked. Sira hesitated, her eyes flickering with doubt. "I can try, but I may not have enough time, and if I fail, the Vorath will know exactly where you are," she said. Ethan clenched his fists. They had survived countless attacks, but this was different. The enemy was inside their network, waiting to strike. As they worked to decode the betrayal code, the cave trembled. Outside, Vorath patrols had found their location. Drones hovered near the entrance, scanning every shadow. The humans were trapped. Sira worked faster, sweat on her glowing skin. Her hands flew over alien symbols. The signal pulsed faster, almost like a heartbeat. "Almost there," she whispered. Ethan held the entrance, ready to fight. If the Vorath broke in, they would be slaughtered, and then it happened. The betrayal code activated for a fraction of a second. A red pulse shot through the network. Ethan's team froze. Everything went silent. Then the cave shook violently. The Vorath had adapted. They were hunting the humans even here. Sira cried out, "It's too late." They know. Ethan grabbed her, pulling her to safety. The cave entrance was about to collapse. They ran through narrow tunnels, barely escaping outside. The forest was dark, silent again, but Ethan knew the danger was far from over. The Vorath now had precise knowledge of their positions. They were being hunted like prey, and the betrayal code was only the beginning. Ethan looked at Sira. "You didn't tell me everything," he said. She shook her head, tears in her silver eyes. "I had to protect you. If the wrong Vorath intercepted this, we would all die, but you must know. The Vorath commander is closer than you think, and he is watching us now." A low hum filled the air. The snow around them shimmered strangely. Ethan's heart pounded. He realized the hunter was no longer far away. It was here, watching, waiting. And the humans had only moments to survive. Sira whispered, almost to herself, "They know where you sleep. They know your every move, and soon they will strike." Ethan tightened his grip on his rifle. He looked at his team, faces pale but determined. He knew one thing for sure. The humans were not done yet. They would fight. They would survive. And even the betrayal code could not destroy the human spirit. But deep in the forest, a shadow moved. Red lights glowed in the darkness. The Vorath commander had arrived. And this time, he would not fail. The mountains loomed like giants. Snow and mist hid their peaks. Ethan's team moved cautiously. Every step was dangerous. The Vorath drone still searched the forests. Scanning for heat, sound, life, Ethan clutched his rifle tightly. The betrayal code had shown them too much. Now the humans were more hunted than ever. Sira walked beside him, her silver eyes scanning the horizon. "There's a base nearby," she whispered. Ethan frowned. "What kind of base?" Sira hesitated. "An underground facility, abandoned, half-finished, but it is connected to the Vorath command network. If we can access it, we may learn their plans, and maybe—" Strike at the heart. The team reached a frozen valley. There were no signs of life, only jagged rocks and icy winds. They spotted a faint glow beneath a snowdrift. Sira pointed. "There, hidden entrance. No patrols, no scanners. But be careful. The Vorath left traps." Ethan led the group down into the darkness. The tunnel was narrow, carved from ice and stone. Frost coated their faces, and every sound echoed. They reached a large door, metallic. Engraved with alien symbols, Sira touched the surface, and it opened silently. Inside, the air was thick with machinery and the hum of alien energy. The base was deserted, but not abandoned. It was waiting like a trap the humans explored carefully. Every hallway was lined with strange alien panels. Pulsing lights and glowing symbols, they found maps, charts, and devices they could not understand, and then they found the first clue, an alien cell. Still active, inside, a group of Vorath rebels slept. Unaware of intruders, Sira stepped forward, whispering, "They are like me. They are not loyal to the High Command. If we can gain their trust, they may help us fight." Ethan was wary. He had seen betrayal before. He knew trust could be deadly. But desperate times required desperate choices. He nodded. "We try, but one wrong move. We die." They explored further and found a control room. Screens displayed Earth from space, alien fleets, and planetary maps. Ethan stared in disbelief. The Vorath had hidden facilities across the planet. Their plan was massive, to terraform Earth. wipe out human civilization, and claim the planet. And worse, the core ship, their command vessel, was orbiting above. It controlled everything, and it was nearly invincible. Sierra's voice trembled slightly. If we can reach the core ship, we may have a chance, but it is heavily guarded. And the High Command knows about us now. They will not let humans attack lightly. Ethan's mind raced. He realized the enormity of the mission. They could not fight the Vorath head-on. They had to be ghosts, strike fast, vanish. The humans had survived so far by cleverness and courage. But this was different. They had to infiltrate the enemy's strongest point. And failure would mean the end of humanity. Suddenly, a sound echoed through the base. Metallic clanging, rhythmic steps, approaching fast. Ethan held his breath. Signaling everyone to hide, a Vorath patrol entered the hallway. Scanning with red lights, Sierra froze, whispering. They found us. The team held their positions, silent and tense. And then the unexpected happened. One of the alien rebels stepped forward. He was massive, armored, with scars across his glowing skin. "Wait!" Sierra shouted. The rebel paused, eyes flickering with recognition. "You are." "Like me," he said. Sierra nodded. "Yes, we are not loyal to the command. We want peace." The alien hesitated, then lowered his weapon. Ethan felt a spark of hope. Maybe they were not alone in this war, but the moment was short-lived. A loud alarm blared across the base. Red lights flashed. The Vorath High Command had discovered the intrusion. Drones poured into the base from hidden vents. Ethan and the team ran. Through corridors, past alien machinery. Explosions rocked the base, sending sparks and ice flying. Sierra led them to a hidden hatch. Sliding it open silently, they descended deeper, into a network of tunnels no alien had touched in years. In the deepest chamber, they found what Sierra had warned about. A massive holographic map of Vorath operations, supply lines, and the core ship's location. It was a treasure trove of intelligence. Ethan realized this was the key to turning the war around. If they could escape with this information, humanity had a chance. But then a chilling realization struck him. The tunnels were rigged with alien traps. Any wrong step could trigger a self-destruct system. Sierra checked quickly. "We must move carefully. One mistake, and we die." Ethan nodded, feeling the weight of the world on his shoulders. Every step mattered. Every breath could be the last. As they prepared to leave, Sierra paused. Staring at a sealed door, her eyes narrowed. Silver light flashing. This door. It leads to something the Vorath Command does not want humans to see. "Something dangerous," she whispered. Ethan swallowed. "Do we open it?" Sierra hesitated, then said, "We have no choice. The truth may be the only way to win." They pushed the door open slowly. Inside was a room filled with alien technology, glowing softly, and in the center, a holographic recording of a human colony taken years ago. The aliens had experimented on humans. Trying to understand their tactics, Ethan's blood ran cold. The Vorath had studied them for decades. Every strength, every weakness, every move recorded, and now they knew suddenly. A hidden panel slid open. A loud hiss echoed through the chamber. The base was collapsing. Drones were closing in. Ethan grabbed Sierra's hand. "We move now." No delays. They ran through the twisting tunnels, dodging laser traps and collapsing ceilings. Snow above ground swirled violently, masking their escape. And as they finally emerged into the cold night, Ethan looked up at the sky. The core ship floated above. Massive, glowing, untouchable. He knew the final battle was coming. The Vorath were ready, but so were humans, and with Sierra by his side, they had the chance to strike at the heart of the enemy. The wind howled through the mountains. Snow swirled around them like spirits of the fallen. Ethan clenched his fists and whispered, "We are ready. The war is about to change." The sky was dark. Clouds covered the stars. The core ship hovered above the ruined city. Glowing ominously, Ethan's team stood in the snow. Looking up, the wind bit their faces. But they did not move. This was it, the final raid. The moment that could decide the fate of humanity. Sira stepped forward, her silver eyes glowing softly. "This is their command center," she said. "They control all Vorath operations from there. Every drone, every patrol. Every strategy is linked to this ship. If we destroy it, we may give humans a chance to fight back, but it will not be easy." Ethan clenched his fists. He thought of the fallen cities, the burned villages, the lives lost. He thought of his friends, his family, the people who believed in him. "We do what we must," he said quietly. The team nodded, ready, tense. They had survived so much, but this was the ultimate test. Sira led them to a hidden landing zone, a cliff hidden by snow and ice. They climbed silently, avoiding Vorath scanners. Every step was dangerous. Every shadow could hide a patrol. Ethan's heart pounded. The core ship above seemed alive. Sensing them, they had to move carefully, strike with precision, and vanish before the aliens could react. They reached a platform near the edge of the city. Sira activated a small device, a pulse jammer. It temporarily blocked the core ship's sensors. Ethan's team moved like shadows, climbing the towers, dodging drones, and then the first alarms blared. The Vorath were aware of intruders. Gunfire erupted. Lasers streaked through the dark sky. Ethan's team ducked behind wrecked vehicles and broken walls. Maya threw MP grenades, disabling drones in bursts of sparks. Sira guided them through hidden passages. But the core ship responded, sending swarms of drones, larger and faster than any before. They moved like hunting beasts, relentless, precise, deadly. Ethan fired his rifle, striking the nearest drone. It exploded in a shower of sparks, but another two took its place immediately. The humans kept moving, small bursts of strategy, clever attacks. They were ghosts, striking fast, disappearing into shadows, yet the enemy adapted. The core ship began predicting their movements, anticipating their attacks. Suddenly, a massive shockwave shook the city. Buildings collapsed. Sending clouds of dust into the night, Sira shouted. "They are opening the defense gates. We must move now." Ethan led the team into a hidden elevator. Descending into the heart of the city, the walls hummed with alien energy. Every corridor seemed alive, glowing with a cold blue light. They reached the core ship's interface, a massive control panel filled with holographic displays. Ethan hesitated for a moment. Destroying this would cripple the Vorath, but it could also trigger defensive protocols. Sira placed her hand on the interface, whispering, "I can override it, but it may cost me everything." Ethan nodded. "Do it." Sira's fingers danced over the holographic keys, lights flashing faster and faster. The core ship shuddered, alarms blaring louder than ever. The Vorath High Command spoke through the network, mechanical and booming. "Human Ethan Cole, you cannot win. Surrender now, or all will die." Ethan's blood ran cold, but he raised his rifle. "We fight to the end." Suddenly, the floor shook violently, and a massive Vorath enforcer appeared. Its armor glowed red, towering over them like a nightmare. Ethan and his team opened fire, bullets and grenades striking the massive alien. It barely reacted, moving faster than any human could anticipate. Sira's override pulse worked partially, causing the enforcer to falter, but not enough. Ethan realized they needed a distraction. He grabbed an explosive and ran toward the enforcer. He threw it at its feet, the explosion sending it flying backward. The team seized the moment, running for the core ship interface. Sira worked faster, overriding locks, decrypting codes. The ship's energy core began to flicker. Sparks shooting into the air, the building trembled, threatening to collapse. Suddenly, the Vorath commander appeared holographically, projected above the control room. His eyes glowed like molten metal. "You think you can destroy me, human?" he said. Ethan raised his head. "We already survived. And humans never surrender." The commander's laugh echoed, metallic and cruel. "You are nothing but ants beneath my feet," Sira interrupted. "Not if they strike now," the override completed. The core ship's energy core began to destabilize. The building shook violently, cracks racing along walls and ceiling. Drones fell from the sky. Convoys collapsed. The city lit up in explosions. Ethan led the team toward the exit. Dodging falling debris, the Vorath commander screamed. A sound like grinding metal. "No, this cannot happen." And then silence. The core ship flickered. Smoke rising from its systems. The city below was in chaos. But for the first time in years, humans had a chance. Ethan looked at Sira, her silver eyes reflecting the fire and smoke. They had survived. They had struck at the heart of the enemy. And the Vorath were shaken. But as they emerged into the cold night, another alarm sounded. A signal from the High Command, stronger, faster. Ethan realized the war was far from over. The core ship was weakened. But the Vorath still had forces scattered across the planet. And the commander. He was coming. Ethan clenched his fists. The wind howled around them. Snow swirled like restless spirits. He knew one thing for certain. Humans had survived impossible odds before. And they would survive again. The final raid was not the end. It was the beginning of the true fight. The horizon burned red. The ruins of the city stretched for miles. Smoke twisted into the sky like dark fingers. Ethan stood on a cliff, looking down at the battlefield below. The core ship was crippled, but still glowing. Its energy pulses lighting up the snow-covered landscape. The Vorath commander's voice echoed across the valley. Cold and mechanical. "You think you have won, human? Your species is weak, fleeting, and doomed." Ethan's jaw tightened. He looked at his team, weary but determined. Reyes, Maya, Harris, and the rest were ready. They had survived ambushes, betrayals, and near death countless times, and now the final battle loomed. The Vorath commander had deployed every drone, every enforcer, every hidden weapon. The humans were outnumbered, outgunned, and yet Sira stepped forward, her silver eyes glowing brighter than ever. "We strike together," she said, "not just for humans, but for those Vorath who refuse to obey tyranny. If we fail, both our species die." Ethan nodded. They had come this far, and there was no turning back. The humans advanced through the snow, moving as shadows. Drones descended like flocks of glowing birds. Scanning, attacking, bullets and laser fire lit the night. Explosions tearing through buildings and ice. Ethan ducked behind a ruined wall, firing at the nearest enforcer. It roared, towering over him, but Sira struck from above. A pulse of alien energy disrupting its systems. The enforcer stumbled, and Ethan finished it with a well-aimed shot. Maya planted explosives on a Vorath energy tower. It exploded with a deafening roar, sending sparks and fire into the snow. Harris led a squad to disable drones sweeping the field. Every moment counted. Every second was life or death. The core ship pulsed with energy, responding to the chaos below. Its massive shields began to realign, and the Vorath commander's presence grew stronger. Ethan could feel it. Like a dark weight pressing on his mind, suddenly, a massive shockwave blasted across the battlefield. The snow erupted into pillars of ice and fire. Ethan was thrown to the ground. The Vorath commander appeared. enormous and glowing. "You dare challenge me? I am the ruler of this planet, and your resistance is meaningless," he said. Ethan stood slowly, blood trickling from a cut on his face. He raised his rifle. "Resistance is everything you cannot control," Sira joined him. Sending pulses of alien energy toward the commander, the battlefield erupted in chaos. Humans and Vorath rebels fighting side by side, drones crashed, enforcers fell, and the core ship shuddered with every strike. The humans pushed forward, risking everything. And then Ethan saw it, a weak point in the core ship's core. Glowing red, the chance to end it all. If they struck it, the Vorath would be forced to retreat or die. Ethan ran toward the core, bullets and energy blasts streaking past him. Harris and Reyes covered his back, taking down enemies with ruthless precision. Maya and Sira worked to overload the energy shields. The commander roared, sending a massive energy wave. Ethan dove behind a shattered wall, barely avoiding it. He could feel the pulse of the core ship. It was alive, aware, and furious. Finally, they reached the core. Sira and Maya set explosives. Synchronized with the human attacks, Ethan held the detonator, heart racing, every muscle tensed. He looked at Sira. "Ready?" She nodded, silver eyes shining. He pressed the button. The core ship erupted in a blinding explosion. Fire and energy consumed the sky. The ground shook. Drones fell like shooting stars. Enforcers were thrown back. The Vorath commander screamed. A sound like grinding metal. And then silence. When the dust settled, the battlefield was quiet. The core ship was gone, destroyed. The remaining Vorath forces had fled or surrendered. Ethan's team stood among the ruins, exhausted, battered, but alive. Sira stepped forward, smiling faintly. "You did it," she said. Ethan shook his head. "We did it. Together." But the victory was bittersweet. Countless humans had fallen. Cities were in ruins yet. Hope glimmered like the sunrise, breaking through the smoke. Ethan looked around at his team, the survivors. He realized humanity had survived the impossible, not because they were the strongest, not because they were the fastest, but because they were clever. Brave and united, Sira turned to Ethan. "There will be more challenges, other Vorath ships, other leaders. But you have given humans a chance to fight, to survive, to rebuild," Ethan nodded. Looking at the horizon, the snow still fell softly. Covering the scars of battle, he raised his rifle, silently promising the fallen that their sacrifice was not in vain. And as the sun began to rise, casting gold over the ruins, Ethan whispered to himself, "This is not the end. It is only the beginning. The humans will rise. And no one, not even the Vorath, can stop them." The wind carried the faint hum of alien technology fading away. The battlefield was empty. But the spirit of humanity burned brighter than ever. And in that moment, Ethan knew one thing for certain. Humans would never surrender. Humans would never give up. And humans would always fight